Hey, this is Jason Morris here with Group Real Estate Agents That Really Work, and I'm on the phone today with Matthew Rodriguez. Matthew just came over to EXP Realty and started working with me, and Matt, tell a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Matthew Rodriguez. I grew up actually in Northwest Indiana, about 45 minutes south of Chicago, kind of on the Indiana-Illinois state line. Excuse me. My father left when I was an infant, so it was just me, my sister, and really my mother for a while. She got remarried. My stepdad was he still is a general contractor, so I was in and out of houses a lot on build sites. Probably kind of stemming my passion for real estate through that. Coming from a hardworking family, very high value Christian values. So I decided to go to college. My dream at the time was to always be in the film industry, but because of my family's values, my parents would only pay for a Christian college. So I ended up coming down to South Carolina to Bob Jones University of all places, and I don't know if you know anything about Bob Jones, Jason.
Yeah, I do. My granddad was a Baptist preacher.
Okay, yeah. Well, then you probably know all about it. Needless to say, I actually got kicked out during finals of my first year, so that didn't last long. Went out to L.A. for a little bit, stayed out there for a few months. Entirely too expensive, man. Realized I couldn't make it on college dropout. I couldn't make it out there, so I came back to South Carolina and ended up meeting my wife. And we've both been working toward our vision and our dreams ever since. So.
Yeah, so you're in Greenville, South Carolina, and tell us, how long have you been in the business total, in the real estate business?
I got my license, I guess it was the 1st of January, so almost 9 months. Yeah.
Almost 9 months. And I know that you were with Keller Williams previously before EXP Realty. How many transactions did you do before you just moved to EXP Realty?
I've only done 2 transactions, so this might not be a rock star interview, but I like giving new agents kind of like the real perspective on the industry. I think especially when I got into it with Keller Williams, I almost had this idea that I would come out the gate making $300,000 a year. It's kind of what's told to agents, maybe just to get them in the door, but it was completely different from what I thought.
It's actual work, isn't it?
Oh, it's more work than you can imagine.
So what was your job like before January? What did you do? What was your job?
I worked in a couple of industries. I worked a lot in the service industry, food service industry. Like a lot of people that are getting out of college, younger, just hustling as much as you can. After that, I went into sales. I was in the automotive sales industry for a little bit. I really enjoyed that, the sales aspect of it. But just the lifestyle wasn't for me. It was a lot of hours. I had to be there. A lot of them were like 12-hour shifts, at least 5 days a week. Yeah. So I still get that now. That's still what I'm doing now, but it is still partially on my own terms. And if I need to step away for an hour or so, I can.
Yeah, because you're married and you have 2 kids or 1 kid?
I have 1 kid, but it was because of that reason. I needed a little bit more flexibility. I'm not saying I take off work, but if I have to, I can step away from it.
Yeah, that's right. So Greenville, so you moved down there to go to college, and how long have you lived in there? Lived in Greenville?
I went to college in 2007, 2008, so I guess 9 years.
Okay, so you've been there 9 years, but your family, is your family there?
No, all of my family is up in Northwest Indiana. Well, actually, correction, my sister just moved to Georgia, so she's a little closer.
Yeah. The reason I was asking, a lot of agents that listen to, part of my group and listen to the calls and stuff I'm doing, they move to an area and honestly they don't have like a lot, they didn't go to high school there. They don't have family there. They don't have like a lot, they don't have like a lot of friends there. So they're in a brand new area, and that's pretty much your situation. I'm not saying you don't have friends, but
right.
But you don't have family there, and you didn't go to high school there. You don't have lifelong, friendships and relationships.
Absolutely. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My personality is that of an extreme introvert. So coming into this, I mean, my previous job, yes, I was in sales, but I wasn't the guy to go out, to the parties at night and to meet people. I'm better off in a smaller group of people or just with my family. And so getting into this industry, I had a very, very, very small center of influence when I first started. And so I had to combat that. I had to figure out how to combat that.
Yeah, so you moved over, and I know we've been working together, and you've been going through my workshop, and man, you've been talking a lot. I sponsored you at EXP, and so I know your business has changed a lot, like in the last 30 days, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So so what does your schedule look like today versus being at the previous company 30, 45 days ago? What's your schedule today?
Well, my schedule when I was
typical Matthew Rodriguez day.
Yeah, my schedule with Keller Williams was basically get up, about 8:30 in the morning, and make it to the office about 10. And it was really just it was talking to other agents and doing a little bit of prospecting and kind of just what the normal agent does. And I realized it wasn't working for me.
You kind of hung out.
It just kind of hung out, yeah. And I began to see myself less and less going to the brokerage because I just saw that I wasn't using my time in the optimal way. I wasn't focusing on the foundation of the business. So really it changed with your workshop, your listing workshop. I realized that I needed to focus a lot more, if not 100% of my time, on prospecting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of agents don't understand, if you don't have a listing, if you don't have a buyer or seller you're meeting with today, your job is to go and find a buyer or seller to meet with,
Oh, yeah.
They don't understand. We're actually in the sales business. You can do a blog and you can do some videos and stuff like that. That's cool. But when you really get down to it, an agent's job, there's people buying and selling property every day without me and you. Your job is to go out there and talk to as many people as you can and get in the middle of those transactions and hopefully help them facilitate it, help them get a little more money, help them be a little less stressful, stuff like that, make it go a little smoother. But so your schedule today, you're prospecting every day, right?
I prospect probably no less than two hours a day. So I try to aim for at least 3.
How many people do you think you're talking to a day, actually talking to, having meaningful conversations with?
Probably about 30. Just recently, I was listening to another interview, and they were going over the book Go for No, which really changed my perspective on things. It's like you're prospecting for a no, and through those no's, you'll get a yes. And so it really changes your mindset on rejection, on phone call reluctance. It just really opens your mind up. So I would recommend that book for anyone listening.
Yeah. So you're making calls. How many appointments? I know we've talked several times this week, but how many appointments have you set this week?
This week I've set 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, I have an appointment. I have an appointment actually at noon today, and then hopefully one tomorrow too. So out of those appointments, I actually went on an expired appointment, and that ended up turning into I'm actually representing a buyer for that expired right now. So interesting.
Funny how it works.
Yeah.
And so those 5 appointments, give us a breakdown. What are they? Are they expired, for sale by owners, withdrawals? What?
Yeah, for a while there, I was really circle prospecting. I was actually on a dialer, calling probably around 300 to 400 numbers a day. My contact ratio was anywhere between 10 and 11%. So really, I was talking to about 40 to 50 people a day. It would take. I was on a single line dialer, so it would take me probably about 3 hours to do. The results weren't exactly what I wanted, so I decided to really focus down and narrow my prospecting toward people that are already saying that they want to sell. So I focused over now to FSBOs and especially old expireds.
Yeah, so you're focusing on a little bit more warmer lead now than what you were a few months ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
So let me ask you. So right now we've got 3 months and a week, it looks like, left on the calendar for the rest of the year. So what's your goal? Where do you want to be on January 1st?
January
How many
1st,
active listings would you like to have on January 1st?
I would like to have at least 15 active listings by January 1st.
15 active listings, man. That's a solid goal. So you need to list roughly 5 a month. You need to list a little bit more than 1 a week.
Yep.
So I know this call. This is the first of a bunch of them we're going to do. And so have you decided on what lead sources and where those people are going to come from?
I had several lead sources before that I paid for, especially for like expired listings. It wasn't really what I liked. I ended up going over to RedX, and I purchased their expired listings, and I've had great results in terms of contact ratios. Normally I'll contact probably one person out of, I don't know, I'd say 7 or 8 calls.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty solid.
I consider that pretty good. And that's really how I'm getting a lot of my appointments. So that's what I'm using right now. I also use Zillow for my FSBO, leads.
Yeah. Are you subscribing to the RedX for sale by owners too, or are you just doing the expires?
I have not yet, but it's something that I'm going to look into for sure in the future.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Wow. So, I tell people all the time, my group real estate agents, they really work. If you call up RedX and tell them, hey, I'm in Jason Morris's group, they'll waive some setup fees and stuff. And,
Yep.
And, the for sale by owner thing, the great thing about it is if you go out there and you subscribe just 1 month, I think it's either $20 or $30. I can't remember the price. And they have some package deals, but you subscribe 1 month and you get access to the whole old database of for sale by owners. So you can get like 2 years of FSBOs for $30. You subscribe 1 month, and if you don't like it, if you don't like the new ones, you can cancel. It's not any obligation. Yeah. But you get an old database, man. And there's some gold in there, man. So you got your lead sources. You've got a goal, 15 listings. You've got, do you know how many days you're going to work between now and January 1st? Have you figured that out yet?
I normally work about 6 days a week. Saturdays are usually like a half day, depending on, if I have any appointments. If I don't have appointments, then I'm definitely prospecting for a few hours. But, I would say anywhere between maybe 65 and 75 days. Man,
and that's pretty solid, man. A lot of agents probably didn't work that this year. So I got just a couple of more questions, man, then I'm going to let you go. I know you got to get on the phone this morning. So are you using a dialer now, or are you just dialing individual numbers?
Right now, because I'm focusing on expired and FSBOs, I'm actually not using a dialer, either single or triple line. That will probably change in the future. But because I'm giving direct attention to FSBOs and expired, I'm not using it. If I was circle prospecting, I would definitely be on a dialer.
So, and what we're going to do, just so everybody listening knows, we're going to do some weekly calls with Matt, just following up on his progress. So this week he set 5 appointments. Matt, do you have a goal for next week as far as how many appointments you want to set?
I want to set at least 7.
7 appointments next week. How many listings would you like to take next week?
I want to take 2 solid listings that will actually sell.
2 solid sellable listings, man. I do that too. I have my big goal, and then I like to break it down and like, what am I going to do next week kind of things? What am I going to do this month? And that really helps me. So I know that we're, me and you, we've been talking about 2017 a lot, what you want to do in 2017. And, this next 3 months, you want to finish the year strong, but this next 3 months too sets you up also for 2017. Have you thought about your 2017 goal yet?
Yeah, in 2017, I would like to get to a point where I'm taking 1 listing every 5 days. So, it comes out to about 73 listings in a year. So I realize that I probably won't sell 100% of those. So, we're looking at maybe 60 listings sold next year.
Man, that's fantastic. Well, I got one other question, man, then we'll wrap things up. So there's a lot of agents that will be listening to this that are in the same position as you.
Right.
What advice would you give them as far as what do they need to do, and what do they need to do with their career right now?
One would be to get a mentor, whether paid or unpaid. If it's unpaid, you need to provide them with some kind of value. If it's paid, then that's the value that you're giving them. But if you don't have a roadmap to get somewhere, you're not going to get there. Number two is just to show up. You need to get to work. We can do all these things with I mean, we can do all these things with blogs. We can do Facebook. We can do, but a lot of those are just distractions toward what you need to really be doing. Okay,
yeah.
so just cut the garbage that you're doing and just focus on the foundation of the business. And I think that your business will explode.
Man, so we got 5 listing appointments this week. Our goal is 7 next week with 2 listings taken next week. And cool, man. Well, we'll follow up on next Friday and see where you're at, man. Anybody that wants to get in touch with Matt, if you got somebody looking to buy or sell in the Greenville area, where can they find you? Give them your website address, or tell them how they can find you if they want to refer you to business.
The easiest way would probably just Facebook, Matthew Rodriguez or the Rodriguez Property Group. You'll find me on there, and I got the Facebook chat on my phone. Just shoot me a message.
Sounds great, man. Hey, well, we'll talk. I tell you what, we'll talk next week.
Awesome, Jason. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man.